welcome back to Special Needs Survivalist. I'm Sam. This is my husband Justin. You actually haven't seen him at all on the channel, which is weird. Today we actually got away from the house for the first time in, what, 2 weeks? Together? I don't know, something like that. And we went to Costco. We're going to Costco. Target. And on our way back home right now, we did a question and answer. We asked some of you on Instagram and also came up with a couple of questions on our own and asked on Facebook. What kind of questions you guys had for us as YouTubers and just overall, like, our story, living the trach life, whatever questions may have come to your minds, anything you were curious about. So we answered your questions, and I want to invite you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications so that you never miss a video. I am trying to post at least twice a week, Mondays and Saturdays. I'm also trying to get on board with Vlogmas. I don't know if that's going to happen. So far it hasn't, but I'm working on it. I'm very much working on it. I'm also trying to keep my husband awake while he's driving, so yeah. We, on this channel, we're all about living with disability, living with chronic illness. I have chronic illnesses. Our daughter Nora has chronic illnesses. I'm also on the spectrum, the autism spectrum. We have a daughter who is 4 who also has sensory issues. We live in a constant state of isolation, essentially, because of Nora, during cold and flu season especially, but also because of COVID. We are still very much in quarantine. We are still taking a lot of precautions. We wear a mask whenever we go anywhere, and we're disinfecting stuff constantly. We don't really go places very often at all. So yeah, we'll definitely be doing more of these Q&A videos, I think, as we get further into our journey as YouTubers, and I have more videos coming.
I'm looking down the hole, I'm like, oh, that hole's open.
Okay, realistically, our options are what? Noodles, which we do all the time.
Noodles, Culver's,
stuff that's gonna take forever.
Herbs and Gerbs. Not here in town.
And do you have a preference? Because I don't really care.
We can do Subway as long as they have gluten-free bread. We haven't eaten Subway in forever.
Subway is just not.
That's not good.
It's a letdown, honestly, every time.
Subway is cheap.
So we still don't know where we're going. I don't know. What are you doing? Stop.
Double parking.
You're gonna be one of those people?
Because we need all the parking spaces here right now.
Well, okay. I don't know what I want.
You never know what you want.
I don't. It's
Ooh, I know what I want, and it's terrible.
What?
Mexican.
I hate you.
That would be the worst thing for a car trip.
It would be. I don't know what I want. I'm not.
As is your way.
Shut up. God.
I'm gonna get what I want.
Are you just heading out of town at this point?
Pretty much.
That's pretty much, I mean, yeah. Honestly, you know what? Herbert and Gerbert's is probably just the way to go. Where are we going?
I don't know.
You're heading the wrong way.
No, I'm not.
You're not?
No.
No, you're not. You're right. Okay. So, first question. Kelsey.
Which one?
Who is your favorite nephew? Okay, so you guys don't know, but we technically right now only have one nephew, but we have another on the way, and my sister-in-law asked who our favorite nephew is. Clearly it has to be Edwin, because he's our only nephew, but We don't know the other nephew because he's baking still.
I vote he goes by Artanis.
Artanis? I was a proponent of Albus for a bit there. I don't know. I'm still working on trying to decide, trying to help Kelsey and Austin name their child. So
I had a stellar name for him, but I don't remember what it was.
it was Alistair.
Yeah.
All right, Kelsey. Kelsey. Let us know if you like Alistair, because we think that it might be a winner. Because why not name your child after Mad Eye Moody? Okay, next question. Surprisingly on topic. Also a question from Kelsey. How do you decide on baby names?
That's a good one.
Oh, God.
Well, one of them just falls into place, and the rest of them you fight to the death.
Pretty much. I mean, there wasn't bloodshed, but...
We weren't particularly nice to each other sometimes.
No, not even a little. And we both had like these really long, elaborate lists of names, and we just handed the lists to each other and crossed out the ones we didn't like.
There were ones that were a yeah, there were ones that were a maybe, and then there were ones that were definitely not.
Some of them were a hell no.
Oh, I passed my exit.
Yes, you did. Some of them were wait a minute. Is that a name? That was me. I was mean. I was pregnant, okay? Give me a break. So we have had 4 kids. Surprisingly, we have never gotten divorced over trying to name our children. But I'm pretty happy with the names that we picked out.
In the end, all of the names were always on our joint list that we both liked. And they didn't start there.
No, because like with Rose, you did not. Rose was never on your list of
Rose was on my
main
list
names.
for middle names.
Yeah, but originally with Rose, her name was supposed to be Iris, and
I was just so in love with that name.
And I liked it too, and we really like.
We settled on that one fairly quickly too.
And unfortunately, we told Lydia that was what the baby's name was going to be, and so for the longest time, baby Iris, and then she came out, and I was like, "There's a problem here. She's not Iris." Like just. She came out and I was just like, that's not her name. It just isn't. And that was never the case with any of the other kids. Like, they always came out and that was always their name.
And
it just
is, I was right there on the page with you. I was just like, Iris. Nope.
It just was not her name.
Nope.
I think Rose was, 12 hours old before we had decided on her name? Which has never happened in the history of the Phyllis clan.
The next day.
In this branch of the Phyllis family, that has never happened.
Had to have been more than 12 hours.
Well, I think it took us more than 12 hours to decide on the middle name. I think we decided on the first name.
Okay.
But the middle name took us a while because we just didn't really have anything that we really felt was right for the middle name. So anyway, yeah. Nora actually was never on my list of names ever. I did not like that name, and then I think one day we were just talking about it, and I was just like, we liked the middle name Grace, and Nora Grace just fit. And we were just like, Nora, the name means light, and Grace it just worked. And if you know Nora and you've seen Nora, it fits her. It can't not be her name. It's just her perfect. It works for her. And Lydia, I can't imagine Lydia being anybody but Lydia.
She was almost Victoria.
But she never would have fit that name. I don't see her. It just doesn't work. Amelia, I feel like that was the easiest one to come up with.
Oh, yeah.
That, Amelia was always Amelia Marie.
Lydia was also almost Rowan.
Yeah, Lydia took a long time for us to decide.
Lydia was the one that we argued about the most.
We did. We argued about her name a lot. And I was also Lydia's pregnancy was by far,
rough.
Well, it was rough. I don't know that it was rougher than Rose's, though. They were pretty equal.
Ways.
Yeah. I was just sick the whole time with Lydia, so I was just not.
You felt like you were on fire when we tried to visit my family in Illinois.
That was fun. Yeah, that's a whole other story. So yeah, baby names.
Place, baby.
All right. Favorite thing about each other?
I'm supposed to answer that while I'm trying to merge?
No.
She's just looking over at me, and I'm like, I'm kind of driving here.
You're kind kind of driving? Oh, God.
You can fall asleep if you'd like.
No, please don't. My favorite thing about Justin, I like the fact that he balances my personality largely. Like, the parts that I am overly anxious about, he is more calm about, and vice versa. Like, the parts that I'm more calm and laid back about, he's less. And so I just feel like he complements my personality really well, which I feel like that's not really my favorite. I don't know. He's just a very calming personality for the most part. So that's largely my favorite.
I'd say for me, it's what I've always said. Always just made so much more sense than any other girl, woman, female that I met. Just, I felt like I really just understood you. Not always how you think, but just generally understood you. And that just made getting along, being on the same page, even politely agreeing or disagreeing, it just made it easier. I understood you, where you were coming from, and if I can understand, I can respect it.
Yeah. Which, it's hard for me to find somebody that understands me.
I'm not saying you're not a pain in the butt, because you are. So am I.
Rude.
Love hurts.
Embarrassing story about the other. Oh my gosh. There's a lot of
I don't
embarrassing.
have any good ones coming to my head.
You don't? I do.
You've probably looked at this list of questions and slightly been thinking about it. I haven't been.
Not a whole lot.
You cheater face.
Alright, so Justin's embarrassing story.
I got a couple.
Well, the one that comes to mind is the most recent one.
Oh, then it's not the one I'm thinking of, because I'm thinking of the paints.
No. Well, it's actually... It is on the topic of pants.
All right.
So, last weekend, Justin's...
I know where we're going. Okay.
We're just hanging out at home in our pajamas, and I noticed that Justin has his pant legs tucked into his socks. Now, Justin is not all that fashion conscious, and sometimes he goes for comfort and doesn't go for fashion.
Don't care.
Sometimes he's downright frumpy, okay? But it's not normal for him to have his pants tucked into his socks. So it's just like, is there a particular reason that you have your pant legs tucked into your socks? And he's like, well, they're cuffed at the bottom. But I said, well, are you wearing your sweatpants? And he said, no. And I looked at the pants and I was like, they just don't fit right on him. They look weird. And then I realized he was wearing my pants.
They're in the drawer with my pajamas. I put them on.
So you were wearing my pants for most of the day, weren't you?
Probably.
Yeah. So it's not that embarrassing, but it's a goofy story. Yeah.
Let's see. Embarrassing story about Sam.
Alright, I guess we'll come back to that one. First impression of each other.
Well, first impression, like, we met on Facebook and kind of started talking a little bit, or first impression we met in person?
I don't know. Both?
On Facebook, we basically just like, hey, looking for someone who's about my age to talk to, hang out with.
Yeah.
And into cool music.
Yeah, so our story is kind of weird because I added him on Facebook on a whim. I just was like, my grandma had mentioned that there was a new youth pastor at her church, and I was involved with somebody at the time, and I was like, you're not setting me up, Grandma. No. So then we randomly, I was like, well, what's the guy's name? And she's like, oh, his name is Justin. So I looked him up, and then I added him, and we really didn't talk.
We can talk for a little bit.
At first. And then at one point you said happy birthday to me. But I remember you said something about Merry Christmas. And then I was like, oh, you're killing two birds with one stone or something like that. And then you're like, all I can think of is Justin, you killed Christmas. And so that's the very first impression I got of Justin. And then
Christmas.
I posted a cover by Tyler Ward, and I'd never even seen it. I just thought it was cool. It was Talk Dirty, which is not an appropriate song at all, but it was all of these, like, it was like a mechanic shop or something?
Yep.
That they just, like, used a bunch of the machinery as instruments. And so I posted that, and he was, like, commenting and telling me, hey, you should check this out if you liked it, and blah, blah, blah. And so then I was like, well, if this guy's into music, I think I need to meet this guy. And so that's kind of how our friendship started. And then we decided that we'd meet up for lunch. And that was a little awkward. Because we saw my aunt, and my aunt's like, it was like, oh yeah, this is my friend Justin. She's like, oh yeah, your friend. And I was like, dude, I'm literally just meeting this person for the first time. It ended up being more than a friend, eventually. Pretty quickly, actually. I mean, that our relationship did move fast. It was, we were dating before we knew we were dating.
That's true.
Just kind of, we were both in that place of life where we were ready to settle down. We knew what we wanted in life, and I don't know. I mean, here we are, almost 8 years later, still together. So must have done something right, I guess.
You forgot to mention that you didn't even know who Tyler Ward was until I shared it.
That is also true. That is also true. So
he was my current jam.
Well, you still like Tyler Ward.
Yeah, I do.
So your first impression of me?
I already did that. I started us off.
Oh, yeah, you did. Good point.
No, I also didn't mention, the first thought was, is Grandma setting me up? And I looked her up on Facebook and saw that she had, like, a wedding announcement or something. Or I looked her up online. Yeah, I looked you up online
You
and
did.
saw you had a wedding announcement. I'm like, okay, she's married.
A
It's
wedding
not a setup.
website. Yeah.
Not a setup. We're good.
So
Someone cool to hang out to and hang out with and talk to.
Yeah. On a side note, some of you probably don't know this. I was actually engaged at one point. The relationship did not work out. So I did have a wedding website because I was engaged, and had to break it off 3 months before the wedding. All right. SSI while working a job. This is on disability. I actually do not get SSI. SSI is Social Security income. Currently...
Did apply for it when Millie was sick and dying.
But for Amelia.
Yeah. But we also never got it.
Right. For me, I've never gotten any sort of disability pay ever. Technically, I don't fall under the category of disabled enough for disability.
Autism's enough for some people.
It is, and if I really wanted to fight it, I could, but at this point, we're doing okay financially, and I am able to get paid through Nora's waiver to take care of her because I'm a nurse. So right now I'm not pursuing that. As far as for Nora, SSI and SSDI, all of those Social Security programs are considered a welfare program. So if you make a certain amount of money, you don't qualify, and it becomes a lot of a battle to get that income, and you can only have so many assets. So I guess for us, it just seemed like it didn't make sense financially to do that, not only because we didn't need it, but also just because, like, we would have to be so cognizant of, okay, we have this much for assets, and we can't have that, so we have to figure out a way to allocate our assets elsewhere. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, and again, stepping back to with Millie, I remember they're like, do you have 2 cars worth more than $5,000?
Right.
Yeah? Okay, well, you don't qualify.
Right, and they were all
okay,
paid
so
for.
I need a car that's reliable to get to work.
Right.
And when I'm at work, I need my wife to have a reliable car to take my kids around.
Yeah.
So I can't have a reliable car, or I just need to find a reliable car that's super cheap. Everyone's looking for a reliable car that's super cheap.
Exactly. And honestly, as far as disability goes, it is very hard for a lot of people to get disability, even people that are severely disabled, and the amount that people make on SSI is criminal.
It's not enough to
sustain. It's not even, I don't even think it's as much as minimum wage in a lot of situations. So SSI is not a good way to make a living. But it is a good program for people who need it. Obviously, if you need it, get it, fight for it.
If you can work 10 hours a week,
right,
then SSI plus your 10 hours a week will help you get through it. It should cover most of your needs.
Right. It's just for us, it never really made sense to fight for it, so we didn't. Okay, tacos or pizza? Oh gosh, that's a hard one.
Taco, pizza? No, just tacos. Tacos for me.
See, I could go either way on this one. I really like pizza, but I really like tacos. It really depends on the day for me. I like them equally. Okay, Ninja Turtles or Power Rangers? I think I know what you're gonna say on that. I'm going Power Rangers. I was always a Power Ranger kid.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Double stuff or regular Oreos?
There's not even a question.
No, there is.
No, there's not. Double stuff or go home?
Nope.
Double stuff.
Then I guess I'm going home.
Go home.
Regular Oreos. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Depends on if you're in the mood.
I largely am of the opinion that no, it does not. However, I have had pineapple on pizza done well. It is okay. It's not something I would go out of my way for. Where are you going?
That's right here.
Herbs and Gerbs?
Thought so.
Oh.
Is that not the plan?
I guess we could do that. Yeah.
That's what we talked about.
Sure.
Unless you want to go all the way to the cities.
I mean,
You can do that too, but then you'd have to find food and we haven't been successful.
yeah, that's a good point. La 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 la. All right. Well, we're going to get food, and then we will be
quick hiatus.
Yes.
Temporary.
Very temporary.
This is awesome. Parking.
All right. So now we've had lunch, and I've pumped because pumping in the car is so much fun.
Best I've got for story is lately you've been belching like a grown man. It's like, whoa, how is a sound that big coming out of something so small?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about. I think it's because I've been drinking more carbonated water lately. That's really all I've got. It's only been since I've had the kids. So in this instance, I'm going to blame you. I don't know why. I'm gonna blame you for that.
We might just have to come back and see if there's a better story for you guys on sale.
I'm sure there is, but all the stuff that we were coming up with was not really funny. It was just bad. Where the heck did I put my... Okay. I lose a lot of things, and that's not really it. Yeah, okay. What do you do for your own mental sanity? This comes from a friend of ours that also has a child that is disabled and has a lot of medical and just overall needs in general. Well, first of all, there's no sanity to be had in our house at all, ever. So that is probably not helpful, but as far as like what we do for ourselves, I feel like you just have to make the time, even if like the housework and some of that other stuff suffers. You have to just like, when the kids are in bed, you just have to set aside some time to do something for yourself. If it means getting up a little earlier in the morning or staying up a little bit to carve out some time for yourself or your spouse, it's really important to do to keep your marriage or relationship healthy, to keep yourself healthy. For me, I've found that just doing my basic stuff like washing my face, taking a shower, brushing my teeth, putting on makeup, getting dressed for the day, things like that are really hard for me to even do on a regular day when I'm chasing after the kids, but it's something that's very, very important for me to do. So I would say definitely make sure that you're doing those basic care things for yourself. That's not sufficient, but it's one of those things that you have to make sure that you're doing at least those things to keep yourself healthy. You have to be able to pour into yourself to be able to pour into your children. can't pour from an empty cup. And we are very familiar with autopilot. We're very familiar with running on empty. We're very familiar with running on no sleep. We've been running on no sleep for about 6 years now. So it's a constant learning process for us. It's something that we are still working on. We're not experts on it by any means, but for sure we definitely suggest just making sure that, you know, if you need to hire somebody to help you out a little bit too, like just to have somebody come and do a little bit of light cleaning for you if you can afford it. I know it's hard to do on a budget, but we're looking at having somebody come into our house like once a month to do some deep cleaning just to take some of that pressure off. So anything that you can find to take some of the workload off of yourself is very helpful. If you can afford it, to hire somebody, or if you have family or friends that are willing to do those things, if they're asking what you can do or what they can do for you, then you need to tell them. I think it's very important to ask for what you need, and if they can't do it, they'll say no. You know, just be open and honest and just say, hey, this is what I need, can you do this? And if they can't, they will say no, and if they can, they will. All right, well, that's better. Our nurse got me an extra large coffee. That may have been a bad life choice.
Not like we're not known to make those. It's we
is. All right, I'm gonna actually probably add a couple of questions to this, but
sure.
When do you find time? I feel like we already kind of answered that question. What do you do for your own mental health? Well, like today, for instance, getting out of the house, getting out of town.
Leaving our children with people we trust.
Yeah, which is hard to find. It's very hard to find people that we trust with Nora. I mean, even with any of the kids, really. Just with COVID in mind, there's not a lot of people who are very mindful of COVID like we are. So we don't have a lot of people that we trust to even come into our house, let alone take care of our kids. Did Mom text you?
Yep.
About? What?
I need help.
What do you need help with?
Same thing I asked you for help with.
Did you ask her?
I did.
What'd she
All
say?
reinforcements.
Oh my God!
Never heard that story
You
before.
asked both of my parents?
Maybe.
Why would you do that?
You can't come up with anything. I need help.
Okay, that is a story that, yeah, that is why Todd called me Janet. Oh my God. So my husband's
No, don't worry about
terrible. No, I mean, I have nothing to hide. I don't give a crap.
it. I don't know where I'm going.
Okay. Do you want me to use your phone? God,
You heard nothing.
You're disgusting. Not only did you ask my parents for embarrassing stories, whatever. You're a terrible person. No. I was just thinking like in our relationship. I wasn't thinking like overall embarrassing stories. If that was the case, I would have thought of something a long time ago. I guess I didn't. Why did I think that? I don't know. What do we do for our own mental health? Again, let's go back.
Fun at each other.
I mean, yeah, there's that. Getting out of the house. We do a lot of gaming. A lot
Special
of
drinks like hot chocolate, coffee, tea.
Yeah.
It's actually really, really pretty, even though they're dead. Dead trees are pretty. They look kind of fluffy.
They do. It's supposed to snow today. It's supposed to snow
Why are we traveling
today.
if it's supposed to snow?
Because it's not supposed to snow till later. It's supposed to start snowing at like 6.
Isn't that more tonight than today? We pick knits.
You are in it.
I'm embarrassing time that you married me.
Oh, then there was the Petra.
Everyone was so excited about that.
I was excited about that. I went into the men's room because of that trough. So at the place that our reception and wedding dance was, there was literally a trough that the guys could pee in. And it was like it was one of the big topics of conversation at the wedding.
Option.
It was. Yeah, there was a lot of memorable events from our wedding. So, on the topic of favorite things, who is your favorite YouTuber?
Can't wait. I know who your favorite YouTuber is that I listen to.
I have several favorite YouTubers. It depends. Like, I have several different.
I would say my favorite YouTube channel has probably been. I mean, the Punk Rock NBA is a lot of fun, but I think the secondary channel, Finn McKenty, just his personal Twitch highlights and reels, that I like that YouTube channel a lot.
Yeah, you've been listening to a lot of him lately, I've noticed. That's probably, like, you've been, like, branched out a lot more because of that, I feel like.
Musically?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not really into a lot of the music that I am, but he covers all types of different music, and when he hits on music that I like he expounds on, I don't know, he opens it up, talks about histories, talks about why things work, why things don't work with the market the way they are. He makes it more than just about music or the people. It's not a gossip session, it's not a Wikipedia article, just kind of tying everything in together, and I find it really interesting. He also does stuff like tier lists. Who are some of the new metal bands? If you're talking new metal bands, are they A tier? Are they B tier? Are they F tier? Like what's good? What's not? Why? That's just, it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of go back and forth with a lot of my YouTube stuff, so I have a number of different kinds of channels that I like. I do a lot of like the homemaking and like cleaning videos for whatever reason. Also do watch music related stuff. As a family, especially the girls, lately we've been digging on the Two Rockin' Grannies. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. If you haven't, you need to check them out. If you're not into metal, you should definitely check out Two Retro Grannies because you'll find something there too. Granny Hayes and Nana King, Lydia and Nora, well, Nora especially, oh my gosh, Nora's just, she loves those ladies so much. We love them too. They just have a lot of, they do reactions to different metal songs, and they have a ball. You can tell that they just really enjoy what they're doing, and they have a lot of, they're just trying to add something positive to the world of COVID. They actually started this during COVID, which I think this is something that everybody needs. It's just a positive, fun thing to do. There's never any negativity there. It's all good. It's all happy, fun. So if you need some positivity in your day, definitely check out Two Rockin' Grannies or Two Retro Grannies. We've been really enjoying them, and Nora, like I said, she just loves them. They are by far her favorite YouTube channel, and definitely up there on my list as well. I've been digging on Kim from the Wads. She has a lot of really great homemaking content, and she's just really funny. She's got a really great sense of humor. She's definitely more outgoing than I am, and just, yeah, she's super animated and fun. So if you ever want to just watch it's like you're hanging out with her. It's a lot of fun to just talk to her. It feels like you're just hanging out with a friend. That's the kind of YouTube channel I like to watch sometimes. It's relaxing. But yeah. Okay, so I probably should navigate us to where we're going. So I'm gonna stop recording for a little bit, and we'll catch you in a little bit. Oh my gosh, driving in the city, just not.
Suburb.
I know. So,
Use the soap.
my husband was trying to get dirt on me and texted both of my parents. I feel like I alluded to this earlier, but I didn't actually give you the full story. So I didn't realize that I could have totally gone with like collective embarrassing stories. If I was going to go with that, there's several that I could have thought of about myself. But there's one in particular that earned me the nickname Janet. And if any of you remember the Super Bowl halftime show where Justin Timberlake flashed Janet Jackson's boob, essentially that's what happened to me at a Renaissance festival. I had like a wrap top and didn't realize it, and yeah, that's probably about one of the most embarrassing things that happened. I flashed some people at the Renaissance festival as a teenager. That's up there as far as embarrassing stories go. I'm sure there's more, but that's up there. But yeah, my cousin started calling me Janet for that reason. So I'm really hoping that we don't catch anything, because we've gone overboard as far as like sanitizing. We probably looked ridiculous, and I really don't care, because Nora's health is worth way more than that. Like, I don't care how ridiculous I look if it means that we don't have to go through the hell of illness with the kids. It's horrible. Nora's already sick, actually. She has had a lot of extra secretions the last few days. I'm not sure if it's like a sinus thing, or if it's like a trach infection, or a sinus thing that's going to turn into a trach infection. I really don't know. It's not, whatever it is, it's somewhat no bueno. So she doesn't seem like she's super bad off at the moment. She's a little more clingy than normal. She's a little goopy.
Her secretions are colored.
They're definitely not normal color, and I'm sorry if this makes anybody grossed out, but that's just trach life. Talk about a lot of things that people don't normally talk about. So I think tonight we got to figure out what we're doing for supper, because we didn't factor that into the equation. I don't know why do we never do that? We literally never think of that when we're out.
Yeah, we had nice lunch Friday.
We did. I actually went through the extra trouble of making a lasagna for my mom and Chris and my Lydia, to make sure that they had something good to eat, and also because Justin has been wanting lasagna for a really long time, so he'll be happy to have that. But yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do for supper. I think tonight the plan is gaming. You good with that?
Same thing we do every night.
That's not
Try
true.
to take over the world.
Any of you that are not 90s kids won't understand that. But we didn't game last night. I went to bed early. I didn't actually go to bed all that early. Not as early as I was wanting to. There was just so much to do. Like, I was trying to put all the clothes away and trying to clean up, and then I was helping with Rose, trying to get her settled in. So it certainly could have been earlier, but that's okay. I think Nora is going to have a snuggle night tonight. I think she needs one.
This is news to me.
He's just,
She's in pretty rough.
yeah.
She hasn't had the best nights or mornings. I mean, she hasn't really been fighting going to sleep lately like she can.
No.
But her morning, she really hasn't been sleeping in. She's been extra goopy. Heart rate's been not super high, but high for like resting.
Yeah. That's always a red flag for her when her resting heart rate is up. So I think playing some games tonight and just having her with me, that usually helps. The thing that's hard is trying to prioritize, like, giving her time with me. But I think that's one thing that we can do, is let her sleep with me. It's not something that she gets to do very often. But we still have to figure out without supper, but at least that's done. But yeah, I can't really think of any other good questions, but we'll do more Q&A videos for sure as we get further into the YouTube journey. Please make sure that before you leave, you hit the like button, you hit the subscribe button, because there's a lot of content here and we want to know more about you. So in the comments, let me know who you are, where you're from, what brought you to the channel. Just say hi. Let us know what you want to see on the channel. Also, if you have questions for future Q&A videos, let me know. Put them in the comments, and we will see you in the next video.